Samira Gutoc. I am chairperson of a refugee advocacy and protection group called Ako Bakwit, also dealing with internally displaced persons. I was a former or still convener of Marawi-based Rana Rescue team, former secretary of the Philippine Muslim Women Council, active member of the Philippine Young Moral Professionals, and I'm a freelance writer, speaker. I'm a columnist for Manila Times, and I also dabble on a bit of fashion, no, for indigenous fabric. Many of the engagements are involvements on protection of communities, and so the protection work is provision of water directly to shelters of internally displaced persons. We work with Palestinian refugees as well in advocacy and provision of basic services to them. Also, of course, advocacy on of trying to highlight, anti-genocide campaigns in Palestine for Palestine. We also work on women's children protection in shelters as an advocacy work and as also as a service provision. So these are either in public platforms or in direct service in humanitarian operations and as such. It's a calling to always be nurturing. I think it's a part of being a human, but of course my exposure in childhood to the Gulf War, I think my exposure to the plight of refugees early on, and my involvement in the conflict and peace process as a anti-discrimination as a youth activist then already brought me to travel here and there on the issues, speaking and directly experiencing also discrimination up close and personal. So I think these life learnings, life experiences, as well as learnings itself deepened my longing and learning and passion and compassion to keep on the trail, keep on being part of this trail and journey. SDGs work is definitely very lifelong. It's not just one time that we achieve the goals. So the difficulties come with continuity and sustainability of projects. How do we find logistics and support donors sustainably? And so it's always a matter of finding your financing, finding funding, when will the resources deplete, finding the next step. So it's really a whole gamut of items to do, writing proposals, to keeping an office, to maintaining this ability to move around despite security matters, because we live in a conflict zone, formerly of the Marawi siege, and as such. So these conflicts don't end, So the second, I think, challenge also is that we are displaced persons ourselves. So our internal realities, our personal realities also have bearing on our work. Sometimes it's difficult for us. We face hospitalization concerns. We face financial problems ourselves. We can't always be volunteers. We can't always be NGO. We have to also survive and feed our own families. So these are real for us, very real. And so the energy is always there. It's just keeping it up. Like how can you change your society, the world, when we can't even help ourselves, healing the healers, or, helping the helpers. It's something real to us. Definitely collaboration is key. I think we've survived because of collaboration. Institutions like Cagayan de Oro, NGO-based Samdana. We also had aided us in water provision. We just had received today two boxes of shoes from the United States from from Filipino groups donating to evacuees. So there's just so much goodwill out there, and we must keep the trust. We must keep the relations, connections together. We cannot give up, despite the doors are closing all the time and most of the time. So we can't give up. There has to be champions. We have to keep on. And so SDG is very key, in this work, because it's rights-based. Our approach is rights-based. It's a right of internally displaced persons. It's our right. It's Muslim women also fighting as frontliners. We are mothers. We are women. We are war zone survivors. So it's definitely something that we feel impacts us directly and our children. So we have to keep up the discourse, the narrative, the campaigns, the provisions, or else mismo our families will not survive this struggle. The noises of voices out there scrolling on entertainment news that dominate our attention with attention deficits on the public, the majority. I think the women put a personal space and face to our SDGs, to our call outs, to our issues, to the platforms. I think women give a more impassioned plea. I think they're more effective. They invest with their heart. They are personally invested. It's not work only for them. It's not a task. It's really something that they carry through. They really dream about it even in their sleep. If things have affected the children properly, if the programs have been implemented efficiently, I mean, we take things to heart, and I think that's something women take dearly. We all share common concern with. When it comes to children, babies, families, it would always be personal to us. After all, women issues are public issues, or all issues are women issues. So we feel very strongly that women add a very important flavor, even if soft power, even can use their soft power in diplomacy, negotiation, lobbying, fundraising, seeking, asking, pleading. We look at Greta, a very young activist. She had to remind heads of states of their commitments to carbon emissions. And so young women and women at large are very, very influential in carrying forth the SDG, because it affects families and the welfare of families.